Guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over this email that was sent to me from a subscriber that tells his story of how he basically started dating this woman and smoking hot, whole 9 yards, and pretty much in a short period of time really starts getting feelings for her, and next thing you know falls in love with her. And as you can probably guess, the second he started getting feelings for her and falling in love with her, he stopped being the same guy that he was when she first started dating him, and he started being kind of her servant, and in his words, her little bitch, and he was basically pee-whipped. And to no surprise, it wasn't long before she started pulling away from him, not responding to his texts and messages, obviously losing attraction for him. And then next thing you know, she's testing the hell out of him, talking to her ex-boyfriend, all this other crap, and more problems continue to go on. And so guys, I'm doing this article here for this reason, that most guys get into this situation. Most of you guys that do dating and relationships have either done this in the past, or you're doing it right now, or you will do this if you don't really pay attention, where you start with a woman, and maybe in the beginning you're indifferent, you don't really care either way, and she's really into you. And then the next thing you know, you start getting all these feelings and falling in love and all that, and what happens? She loses attraction because you stop being the same guy that you were in the beginning. You start getting whipped. And then she starts losing attraction and going for a guy that actually acts more like a man than you do. And so I'm doing this so you guys don't make the same mistake as this guy. But the good thing is, at the end of the story, the guy gets his shit together, makes a good comeback, and it's all good. So, starts out saying, "Hey SSM, I'm over here in the ditch, over in New Zealand, but to cut to the chase, around October of last year, I began seeing a hot 24-year-old accountant. I had just come out of a 4-year-long relationship and had only a one-night stand since the breakup. I met this girl on Tinder," and he says in parentheses, "Jesus, I know, red flag. But we both agreed we hated the app and it wasn't a usual thing." Yeah, sure. I really believe that with regards to what she said. He says, "All was going well, as we were both into horses, and I am a farmer's son, so I know I was pretty appealing to her, having land and horses, and I also do a bit of rodeo." I didn't know they did rodeo in New Zealand, but hey. And by the way, New Zealand is definitely on my list to travel to one day. It's going to be the flight from hell, but I've heard a lot of good things about it. At least in terms of, the sights to see and all that. Not necessarily, we all know the you-know-what movement, and effinism definitely has taken a big iron grip of that country, but putting that aside, I've always wanted to see New Zealand. He goes on, "She was extremely affectionate to begin with, and I thought I'd struck gold only a month back into the game. She even owned her own horse and had a good job." Okay, so far so good here. However, this is where it all goes south. "I soon discovered that my own brother and mates had tried to get with her first, but failed for the most part. To be honest, this only served as an ego boost to me. I was a cocky prick, like usual, probably a bit of a Chad, but as I grew attached, I let my game slip and found myself catering to all her needs, feeding her horses, driving her around, and pretty much being her bitch." This is what happens to so many guys. They start off, they're indifferent, they don't really care, girl's totally into them, totally hot for them, and they start getting feelings, and they start being extra nice, extra accommodating, putting her on a pedestal, and what happens? And guys, let me make something clear. If you start acting like a bitch, she's going to probably treat you like that and see you like that, okay? And it's only a matter of time before it gets worse and worse. So there's a fine line between, again, if you do relationships and all that, doing some nice things on occasion for your girl and being her bitch. There's a fine line there, okay? And you're just going to have to learn it through experience. But in regards to his brother and friends trying to hook up with her, well, that can show that, guess what? They failed, but you got her temporarily. It's only your turn, as the saying goes. "Stupidly, after 6 months, I admitted I loved her, and then she was getting more and more distant." See? And guys, whatever you're doing right now when you're either listening or watching this video, I want you to stop what you're doing and listen to what I'm about to say. Never, I repeat, never be the first one to tell a woman that you love her. Don't ever do it. It is only going to blow up in your face, okay? You always wait for her to tell you first. If you go ahead and tell your woman that you love her or you're in love with her or whatever romantic bullshit comes out of your mouth, if she's not there yet, which she obviously isn't because she hasn't said it to you, it's going to turn her off. It's going to make her think that you are way into her, more into her than she is into you. Okay? And in some cases, that can cause women to break up with you just like that. Or it may cause some women to start backing away, maybe losing respect for you because they may perceive themselves as unlovable. There's a lot of screwed up women in this world. We all know this. Daddy issues and so forth. They don't think highly of themselves. So you're there going, professing your love to her. It's going to turn her off. So you always wait for them to say those words. Okay? And by the way, I've said this before, women cannot love a man the same way a man can love a woman. It doesn't work that way. Okay? A guy can definitely fall for a woman and love her unconditionally and all that shit. I mean, as long as she doesn't gain 100 pounds. But aside from that, she loses her job, you still love her. She stops certain qualities about her change, you still love her. But with a woman, the love that she has, their version of love, it's conditional on a lot of things. It's conditional that you have a job. You keep your job. You still have the resources that you had when you first started. You still have that. You maintain whatever status you had or higher that you had when you started. She sees you as an alpha, a prize, all that. You stop doing any of that, that love that she has for you, that's going to go. Okay? It may not happen overnight, but it will go. So, in my opinion, women can't love you, so there's no sense in trying. If that's what you need in life, in a relationship, you need some woman to love you to make you feel whole, I got news for you. It ain't going to happen, okay? Don't waste your time. But if you're going to do relationships, again, guys, wait for them to say it to you first, okay? If she doesn't say it, she's not feeling it, and it's only going to blow up in your face as it did in this story about this guy, and you're going to see what I'm talking about here. How to make that clear. Goes on. Yeah, stupidly after 6 months, I admitted I loved her, and then she was getting more and more distant. See what I'm talking about? She wouldn't stop texting her ex, who she insisted were just friends. Yeah, sure. She couldn't understand why I didn't want to meet him, and then she told me he had a history of fighting her new boyfriends. This didn't even slightly bother me, being a well-built country lad. I told her I'd sort him out. So this guy, he's getting all these feelings for her. He's basically being very accommodating. He's basically being her bitch in this guy's words, doing all these things for her, being Mr. Nice Guy, putting her on a pedestal, and then he professes her love to her, and guess what? He said flat out, she became more distant. And now she's reaching out to the ex-boyfriend. Why? Because this guy, in her mind, her perception, she sees him as weak. She sees him as being the classic nice guy. She's turned off. Okay? And now the testing begins as she's reaching out to the ex-boyfriend because she's looking for a guy that basically she perceives as more of a man, more masculine, more alpha than this guy's acting. Even though he did everything right in the beginning to attract her in the first place. This is what happens, guys, when you start getting feelings and you start getting pee-whipped. Okay? Don't let that happen to you. Goes on. Then I find she has porn videos online with him, which she admitted to me over wine. I told her that's just crook, and I was disgusted, and I started a fight. This just gets getting better and better. And you can't blame this guy for getting mad about this and getting a fight about this, because again, you never heard about the porn when he first started. Everything's all cool in the beginning, and then you see what happens. This gets worse and worse and worse. Now she's got porn videos of this ex-boyfriend. This is the time when this guy should have just out of there. Okay? I mean, to be honest, when she started reaching out to the ex-boyfriend, that was the time when the guy should have gotten out of there or laid down the law, at least saying, hey, I don't want you talking to the ex-boyfriend, and if you are, I'm out of here. You're with me. But this guy, because of his feelings for her, he's putting up with all her shit. These are the tests women do to see if a guy, how booty whipped he is, as they say. How pee-whipped. Is he really her bitch? Women want a man. They don't want a weakling. And a weakling is going to put up with all this bullshit that she throws in your face. Okay? And also, guys, just whatever you do, keep that in mind. Understand that if you're going to do relationships. I know a lot of you guys that follow me do relationships, so understand that. Weeks go on. and she hardly replies to me, and at this point I'm getting pretty fed up and consider dumping her, but I can't due to my feelings. See, this guy knows in here he needs to pull the plug. He needs to get out of there, end it, but because his emotions are involved, because he's so into her, he's in love with her, he can't do it, and he keeps putting up with all this bullshit. And so it's obviously very hard when you have feelings to basically draw a line in the sand and lay down the law. But most guys can't do that. But you got to learn to do that. Otherwise, they'll keep testing. They're like goddamn children. The way a child will constantly test you to see how far the kid can get away with crap. Just like a parent, you got to draw a line in the sand and you not tolerate any crap ever. Otherwise, the woman will see weakness and pull away, pull more bullshit, and it'll get worse and worse until eventually she cheats and leaves. And guess what happens here? He goes on, I can sense a breakup, so I started hitting the gym hard, mostly to take my mind off things. And in quotes he says, I was about to move in with her for fuck's sake. Then the lockdown in New Zealand begins. And out of nowhere, she dumps me. And he says in parentheses, I assumed for her ex. I pretend to be totally indifferent about it and accept it, just so I can go and collect my things. I even very petty, like take back the $500 necklace I got for her birthday only a few weeks before. Why did you buy her a $500 necklace just a few weeks before when you told her you love her? She obviously didn't say it back. She was pulling all this bullshit, texting her ex-boyfriend, throwing it in your face, admitting that she was doing porn in the past that she lied to you about, all this other crap that she was doing, and you were buying her a necklace for her birthday? No way. That's crazy. And to her, in her mind, she's going to think of this, oh my God, I'm doing all this crap, and this guy's still buying me jewelry for my birthday. More and more loss of respect. You don't do that, okay? And I'm not trying to give this guy a hard time, I'm just being honest. I'm just giving a dose of tough love here. Guys, if someone's mistreating you, you don't reward them for it. You don't do nice things if someone's mistreating you. You basically lay down the law, and if they don't go along with what you want, and I'm not saying be an asshole about it, unless they, of course, are being an asshole to you, but you lay down the law and say, if you're going to be in a relationship with me, this is not going to happen. And one or two things are going to happen. They're either going to cut the crap and play ball and stop the bullshit, or they're going to keep up the crap and you're out of there. Goes on, once my stuff was fully loaded in my truck, I then let her know what a sack of shit she is, and she can look forward to being a 40-year-old cat owner. I forgot to add, most of the rodeo boys had been either trying to get to her or had smashed her, even though she had said she had a body count is 7. There's no way, the way he described this woman and all that her body count is 7. Try 7D. So then the next shock comes. I blocked her social media, but my friend tells me she is in a relationship with a bloody friend I introduced her to. I hit him up, and he says it just happened, but I am certain something must have been going on while we were together for them to suddenly be in a relationship. At first, I wanted to beat him senseless, but I just moved on. The sex with her was trash anyway. I actually told her this in front of her sister one night drunk. Yeah, real nice that his buddy is now hooking up with the girlfriend, the ex-girlfriend now, because she broke up with him, and they're in a relationship. I guarantee you that this was going on while this guy was still with her, because a lot of women do that. They'll line up a replacement before they actually break up with the guy. That way then they can just smoothly go on to somebody else and not have to deal with being alone or continue to have resources and not have to feel bad and all that. So real nice. But you know what? And he says here, I basically wanted to beat his friend senseless. Yeah, that friend deserved a good punch in the face, but you know what? That friend is going to get it 10 times worse because now he's in a relationship with her, and I guarantee you, mark my words, she'll do the same thing to him when he starts screwing up in her view, basically acting weak. Guaranteed, guys, because cheaters are always cheaters, and people like her, she's not going to change. Fast forward 6 months, and I now have a much hotter Dutch girlfriend with a perfect body, and I'm having the best sex of my life. She's living with me, and we are planning to move to Europe after things settle down with the virus. She's very traditional, and he says, now heavily red-pilled and pretty ripped from the revenge gymming, am enjoying a great relationship. That's awesome, bro. Good for you. Good for you for moving on. And the guy said he's been hitting the gym really hard. That's awesome. Guys, I always encourage you guys to exercise and work out. That doesn't mean you got to go to the gym and try to become a bodybuilder or look like Dwayne Johnson. I'm just saying, stay healthy, stay fit. It'll make you have a much more enjoyable life. But also, by hitting the gym, you're going to feel a lot better about yourself, okay? Not just in terms of the progress you make and looking good, but when you work out, you feel better at the end of a workout, because of the endorphins that are coming from that. I mean, I've had pretty shitty days, and I go to the gym for an hour to hit the weights or an hour or two of martial arts, and at the end I feel great, and whatever was bothering me, whatever problems I had, they didn't seem like such a big deal. And I was able to take the emotion aside and resolve the issue logically instead of getting, being all worked up like I was earlier. I mean, it happens to me. I'm being honest with you. So going to the gym, you're going to feel better about yourself, and you're going to come off more relaxed, be more resourceful, and that's going to help you in all areas of your life. Not just attracting women. It's also going to help you on your job. You're going to do better, be more relaxed, more confident. It'll help you across the board. So hit the gym, guys, or do exercise of some sort a few days a week. It really will help you out. And by the way, that's awesome that he has this new girlfriend. Good for him for moving on. And guys, in life, the best revenge is success. But when it comes to an ex-girlfriend or some woman that did you wrong, the best revenge against a woman that screwed you over is getting an even hotter girlfriend than what she was. And more importantly, a younger, hotter girlfriend. That is the best revenge you can ever get on a woman that's ever screwed you over. Just pointing that out here. But he says, they've been in a relationship and they're looking to go to Europe when all this COVID crap is over with. I want to warn this guy that I don't want him to make the same mistakes that he made with the girlfriend in this story here, the ex-girlfriend. Okay, so if he's having this great relationship and she's hot and the sex is amazing, cool. But don't make the same mistakes you did before. Don't rush into it. Don't start being her. Don't start because your feelings. Don't start being extra nice and accommodating and kissing her ass, because in one way or another the same thing's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen to the degree that did with the earlier girlfriend, but you could start pulling away and losing interest. Hang back. Let her do the I love you crap first. Okay? And if you're going to do some nice things for her, do it sparingly. Don't become her servant or any of that crap. And this goes for any of you guys in the same situation. And lastly, you're talking about moving to Europe with her. I would slow down on that. I would take easily another year from where we are now to really get to know this chick, because you're still in the honeymoon period. The first 6 months, again, you really don't know who she is. So give it time. You don't really know, because if you moved away to Europe, and then guess what, you get over there and you break up, do you want to be stuck in Europe because you didn't want to be there, or because you went there for her? If you're going to go to Europe, go there because you want to do it. It's something that you'll enjoy. And that way, if things don't work out with her, she's gone. You don't care. You're having a good time in Europe. Meet an even hotter chick. But the point is, don't rush into this, bro. Don't make the same mistake you did before. You're doing awesome. Great comeback. That's awesome. But just don't make the same mistake. Don't get pee-whipped. Don't professing your love. And take your time. There's no rush. Goes on. The story finishes up her saying, she even admits she perceives me as a bad boy due to my attitude and physique. And I bet the motorbike and cowboy shit helps. It does. I owe this to you in part. I don't think I could have ever recovered without your guidance. Oh, and one last thing. I've had a promotion after promotion since gaining this new confidence. Things are going well. Cheers, Jack. So, this is great. Guy fucked up. He knows it. Got all pee-whipped, fallen in love with a girl. She was obviously trash to begin with. We all know that at this point. And you saw what happened. She backed away. She lost interest. She sure as hell didn't say I love you back. Started reaching out to the ex-boyfriend. Finally admitting that she did porn videos with the ex-boyfriend that were online. And the next thing you know, she's cheating with this guy's friend and breaks up with him. But her breaking up with him was probably the best thing that could happen to this guy. Because imagine being stuck with this woman during COVID when a lot of countries were on pure lockdown. Imagine that hell. But this guy made a comeback. She broke up with him, but it didn't look like it was too hard for him to move away once she broke up with him, because he knew things were doomed anyway. Started hitting the gym, improving himself, met a new girl, hotter, sex is amazing, all that, cool. And now he's getting promotion after promotion in his job. Guarantee that's coming from his confidence of learning things, improving himself, and so forth. And that's what I want you guys to do. Constantly doing things to improve yourself. Educate yourself, make more money, get in better shape, better health, constant improvement, guys. And it will filter out all throughout your life, not just with women. Okay, so great job to this guy. I wish him absolutely all the best. This is a really good story to share. Good lesson on not getting pee-whipped and what can happen if you do. And again, like I said to him before, don't rush into it. And when you do decide to go to Europe, do it because you want to do it, not because of her. Okay? All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Let him know what you think about this. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.